I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to more live real-world racing action here on the National Racing Network. My name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us here on, well, what is a pretty crummy day in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, but it is absolutely beautiful in Buttonwillow, California, where today the stars and cars of the Spec Corvette Series presented by Nankang Tire are coming to you from Buttonwillow Raceway. As I mentioned, my name is Chris Graham. Joining me in the booth for the color commentary today will be the Watspin, Mr. James Watson. And James, you got to drive one of these cars a year or so ago. We've done almost a full year's worth. We didn't get to call the first couple of rounds because, quite frankly, Willow Springs just has absolutely crap internet service. But, man, I am jacked up. We get to come hang out here and talk about Spec Corvettes here for a little bit.
Yes, sir, and it's I believe this is our second trip to Buttonwillow to broadcast the Spec Corvette Series, and I'm excited because Buttonwillow is such an incredible track. It's an underrated track. You know, when you talk about top tier circuits around the world, you don't really hear Buttonwillow mentioned because not a lot of people know about it. It's kind of one of racing's great hidden gems, but it's such an incredible circuit. Really great flow, a lot of awesome corners, a lot of great passing opportunities. It just never fails to put on a show.
Yeah, this place is going to be fun. 498 acres. Oh, in fact, I believe a little bit bigger than the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in terms of property size. This time we're going to be running layout number 14 of 40. Yes, 40 different possible layouts. This one 2.64 miles and 16 turns in length. Drivers are giving up the, okay, there you go. They're getting the signal here that they can hear over the one-ways. That was the number one finger you saw up. That says I can hear you and I'm ready to go. Let's take a look. We have got a pile of cameras for you here today. How about 6 different onboard cameras? We are going to start in the upper left-hand corner with John Wynn, one of the founders of the Spec Corvette Series. Upper right-hand corner, we'll have John Simon, one of the new entries into the series this season. Underneath, in the middle row, will be on the left-hand side, that is Kevin Jones. And also on the right-hand side, we're going to have Mark LaCourte, who is a favorite for the champion this season. And according to what John Wynn was telling us in the pre-race, he is setting track records about everywhere they go. Absolutely crazy, the stuff that Mark LaCourte is doing here. On the bottom left, we have Patrick Howe, and on the bottom right is Darren Griffith. Cars are getting ready to roll out here onto the starting grid. Let's go on board with Patrick Howe, and we'll show you today's starting lineup. Qualifications taking place just a little bit ago here at Buttonwillow. Actually, not long before the lunch break, quite frankly. They had a quick lunch break, and then we're right back at it here. Your starting grid on the pole out of Sun Valley, California, with a lap time of 1 minute 50.259 seconds is the 173 of Mark LaCourte. Lining up alongside out of San Fernando, California, 1.8 seconds back. That tells you how just incredible LaCourte has been, is the 63 of Donnie York. Row number 2 for today's race, we'll have Trabuco Canyon, California's John Wynn, lining up alongside Phoenix, Arizona's Darren Griffith. Row 3, out of San Marcos, California, the number 44 of Patrick Howe, and Fairfield, California's Kevin Jones, piloting the number 39. Row 4, we'll have West Covina, California's John Simon, lining up alongside Corona, California's David Holmes, in car number 71. And on the 5th row will be Christopher Miranda, lining up alongside Vallejo, California's Tony Jimerson, in car number 144. Already seeing some comments coming in, which is exciting. We can get those up on the screen. Let's take a look. Hopefully we're able to do this in more ways than one here. Forge Dreams Media. Oh, wasn't expecting this for the intro. Yeah, that's, hey, we're trying to do the big show for these guys here. GLL718 checking in, showing some love here for Darren Griffith. Get the comments up on the screen, interact with us, talk to us. We're here. We hope you enjoy the show. The one thing that we have not been able to upgrade from last season, quite frankly, is the timing and scoring issues that we have encountered. This is the best we can do in terms of timing and scoring, unfortunately. This weekend, we don't even have the drivers separated out into the correct category. So like Spec Corvette just isn't showing right for us on the timing and scoring screens. It's unfortunate. There's not a ton that we can do about it other than to say we're going to show you everybody, and hopefully you're going to be able to see where your driver is running. But at least the data we know is accurate. Field is starting to get formed up here. Let's see what else we have. Well, actually, we can tell you about our weather conditions. That's another one. Like we said, weather today, absolutely perfect. 52 degrees. It feels like 50, a little bit chilly. As we get ready to roll, green flags in the air. They're rolling here in Spec Corvette. Oh, man, side by side down the front stretch. Oh, they're squeezing contact!
Oh, there's contact! Oh, this is gonna... Oh, save it!
Oh, no, big hit. We've got a big mess on the front straightaway. Let me see who that was. Let me see. Patrick Howe going off the racetrack. Also have, let's see who the other one was here. I believe that was Kevin Jones that may have been involved in that one as well.
Wow, I think that's our first bit of contact we've ever gotten from one of these races.
Yeah, and actually, James, this is one of those deals that, quite frankly, the series does not look real kindly on. Wow, John Wynn getting an absolute handful of steering wheel as well. Good Lord, there is a ton going on here on lap number 1.
How's that for entertainment?
Yeah, that's putting it mildly.
Yeah, that was just a lot more handful of steering for Wynn.
Going on board now with Mark Lacourt. He was at the front of the field. In fact, he's already catching some of the, well, other class cars that are out here. We have some GT2s on the racetrack. There's the AS class, the ITE class, GT1 class is out there as well. And then the Spec Corvette guys.
Man, I tell you, it isn't enough for Mark to dunk on the rest of the Spec Corvettes. Now he's just dunking on the rest of the classes in this race.
Yeah. Okay, so Mark Lacourt coming around a couple of cars here. He's going to be running first overall in the Spec Corvettes. John Wynn running second, John Simon running in the third position. Go on board here now with John Wynn.
Whoa!
Oh, man. And I'll tell you what, James, that first straightaway incident, there was a lot of carbon fiber, or at least bodywork, fiberglass, flying around. I'm not totally sure that we're not going to see some local yellows down the front stretch as well.
Yeah, it was the weirdest situation too. It's like Jones didn't realize that he still had a car on his outside, even though they had just gone green, and he just kept angling and angling and angling, and the car outside was like, "I'm not moving," and yeah, that happened.
Yeah, let's see. Going on board here with Darren Griffith. He has got a couple of cars up ahead of him. The 155, I believe is that John Wynn? I'm trying to see which car that is just ahead.
Whoa, that's all.
Wow. Oh man, those tires absolutely squealing. Yeah, that was John Wynn. John Wynn having an issue. He's fallen out of second position. Darren Griffith, that is John Simon just up ahead of him on the racetrack. John Wynn is only about 0.3 of a second back. Let's see.
Yeah, he is having a heck of a time with that car. Like, you can see it is all over. It is all kinds of squirrely. Like, it is just not agreeing with him at all today. He's doing a hell of a job despite all that.
Okay, we're gonna
ride on a show.
Ride on board here with Darren Griffith as he is trying to chase down John Simon. Mark Laporte is gone. 9 seconds up the road already. Griffith having the look.
What a run!
Wow.
What a run!
Straight up horsepower on that one. Back on board with John Wynn here. Actually, his onboard camera kind of blocking the view of the battle just ahead of him a little bit here, but little bit of an off track for John Simon.
It's just a 1X. He'll be okay.
I was thinking about that when I was doing the graphics work in the pre-race. Could you imagine if iRacing scanned this place and had to put 40 different layouts into there? It'd be almost as bad as the Nordschleife in terms of the amount of processing power like that.
Yeah, no kidding. And like, what would track limits even be? Like, good lord, I can hear the Westshire rant now.
It's all racetrack as we say it is. Patrick Howe back in the back here. He is currently shotgun on the Spec Corvette field after that first straightaway contact. He has a couple of Camaros up ahead of him is what it looks like here. One of those Camaros trying to let him through. Man, Simon again putting a big wheel off. And I'll tell you what, James, for how much rain they've had in this area, I'm surprised how much dust is really kicking up here as we follow along with John Wynn. Even we can pick up John Simon's on board as well. There is a ton of just junk that is getting thrown up in the air.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's going to take a lot more rain to try to deal with all that. I'm like, the fact that you can see green grass for once, that's surprising in and of itself. Like, green grass in my homeland is not something I'm used to.
John Wynn coming around. John Simon trying to also get around one of the, I'm going to say other class cars. It's a Mustang. It is right ahead of John Wynn here. 7 minutes, 45 seconds into this session. And I believe this is a 15-minute long race. Whoa!
Oh,
Wistful
he's not
steering
happy.
wheel.
Oh, he's not happy. That was dropping gear and getting the heck out.
Yeah, taking a look at the, and trying to see at the edges of the racetrack. I'm not seeing any yellow flags out down the front stretch, so looks like that may be cleaned up, at least as cleaned up as it's going to get.
Yeah, honestly, probably the most of the debris is kind of off into the grass. So, with that, if that's the case, and there isn't a really pressing need for the series to throw yellows for that, because if we're going off to where the debris is, you kind of have further issues.
A quick look here at the onboard with Kevin Jones. Jones Racing on board the Fairfield, California native. Now, let's take a look here. John Simon. We're trying to keep everything square here. Yeah, he's battling with David Holmes. Simon losing a spot to David Holmes. We'll see that update on topping and scoring next time they come by the start-finish line. Mark LaCourte making his way through some lap traffic, I believe. Actually, up in one of the portions. Take a quick on-board look with your race leader. And the Schechter Guitars on-board camera. Oh man, now there is definitely all over the racetrack on the front stretch. You can see it really clearly from Mark LaCourte's onboard. Trying to see who else is going to be in a battling position here. And it looks like John Wynn is going to be locked up in a fight here with Tony Jimerson. So we'll go here to John Wynn's onboard. Well, figures that's when the camera would freeze on us. But Tony Jimerson up to the 8th position. Overall, I should say. Jimerson is 4th in Spec Corvette. Like we said, of course, that's about when that would happen, that we would lose the camera. So let's flip over here and pick up John Simon. Simon, as Simon has the 71 of David Holmes just up ahead.
He's starting to reel him in.
Yeah, getting there little bit by little bit here. 25 minutes long are the races here. So with 12 and a half minutes down, we're only to the halfway point in this one. Now, what we have seen in the past is they have run a sort of super sprint format. Yellow flag comes out, they reset the field, everybody packs back up, line up on the file, do it again. I don't did not get confirmation that that's what we were going to see here today. And with 4 or 5 classes on the racetrack, I don't know that we would see that either. Only because that's kind of taking away some of your race time when you do that. It's easy to do when it's like the Corvettes and the Miatas. Corvettes slow down, the Miatas keep going, everybody packs up, and you turn it loose again in about 90 seconds. With multiple classes on the racetrack, I don't think that's what we're going to see here today.
No.
Man, I'll tell you what, they come over the crest of that hill, and you see the bottom drop out. I'm actually almost a little bit surprised at the amount of elevation change that we see here, and it's almost constant.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that a lot of our racetracks in the state tend to have a lot of elevation change. There's a whole lot of flat land in the state of California, so this is probably like one of the flattest you'll find in the state. Even still, the amount of elevation change you get is really cool, and just helps make an incredible racetrack. As you see John Simon give the classic race car driver "what the heck" hand sign. At least it's "what the heck" hand sign we can broadcast.
That is correct. Some of these, well, they're a little less than pleasant type of hand gestures here. Let's take a look and go back to see who we want to pick up on board with here. Let's go on board again with the race leader, Martin Ford. Again, just absolutely decimating the field here. Tony Jimerson putting up a new personal best last lap around. Already 8 laps in this race. Now again, this is running high. Let's see, which direction do we want to go to here next? Martin Ford again, one of those Porsches. Let's pick up Simon here, as he's making a little bit of ground on the 71 of David Holmes. About a second and a half back last time by the start-finish line. Obviously, we will hear post-race on any possible infractions for the contact on lap number 1. We'll give you any updates if there are any changes to the finishing position as part of tomorrow's broadcast. Tomorrow, we will be coming to you live at 1:25 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And do your own math calculations there. I want to say 10:25 out on the West Coast. Tomorrow's first race, is 10:30 local start time. Another 30-minute, 16-lap race. Now, I'll tell you what, James, we may actually hit 16 laps. It's going to be close whether we hit 16 laps before we get to the end of the time limit here, because if I'm not mistaken, the 16 laps are measured off your overall leader. He's already working lap number 10. The Spec Corvettes are a full lap down. They're working lap 8. They're working lap 9. Race leaders are working lap number 10. So should be down to about, let's see. Okay, this one we're seeing is 25 minutes long. So a little bit of a bobble for David Holmes. That's going to allow Simon to catch back in, and Tony Jimerson's just up ahead as well. John Wynn has come around both of those cars to put himself back into a podium position. It's Wynn, Jimerson, Holmes, and Simon. Those cars are all running nose to tail within about 3 seconds of each other. We're going to stay on board here with Simon. He's going to give us the best view. Let us the shout in the comments. Let us know what you think of the show. Or, well, on the subject of Corvette racing, oh, well, let's see. Whose camera did we just lose? Oh, there we go. Mark, we got that. On the subject of Corvette
it went into portrait mode for a few times. Stupid auto rotate.
Let's see. Taking a look at the qualifying results of the Circuit of the Americas. Corvette Racing's Jordan Taylor driving for Hendrick Motorsports in place of Chase Elliott this weekend. Rodney Sandstorm putting that car fourth on the grid, starting outside of row number 2. That's exciting. And I hope they introduce him as Rodney Sandstorm tomorrow in driver intros. That would be fantastic.
Right.
The other kind of invader type drivers to note as well. Kimi Räikkönen qualifying 22nd, Jenson Button qualifying 24th. And frankly, ahead of some pretty big names: Martin Truex Jr., Ryan Preece, Corey LaJoie, Austin Dillon, Kevin Harvick. Jimmy Johnson, 7-time champion, qualifying 31st behind just about everybody. And all of the invaders for that matter. Wow. Big wiggle from Tony Jimerson. Oh no! Spin slides off the racetrack. Tony Jimerson going to be back to the 8th position. John Simon now trying to chase down John Wynn. See how close he can get here. 20 minutes complete, 5 minutes remaining in this first Spec Corvette race of the weekend from Buttonwillow. Mark McCourt is doing his thing and absolutely hauling the mail. Patrick Howe, Darren Griffith, all out here on the racetrack, running by themselves here. Same thing said for Kevin Jones. So we're going to stick right here with John Simon in this battle with John Wynn. James, we're seeing these guys fight these cars. You got to pilot one of these about a year or so ago. This is not an easy car. I mean, it's basically a spec Corvette, kind of awfully. Really awful. There are some modifications that are permitted. But these cars are not great handling race cars. It's not like it's a built racing car.
Yeah, like the Corvette has never been known for handling it. I've always kind of likened it to like an American Lamborghini. You know, it's for looks and pure power and pure cool factor. Usually don't factor handling into the cool. Whoa! Oh my goodness!
Big wiggle, John Wynn.
Yep, that happens a lot. Like, there's a whole lot of power, and it's so easy to do that. Like, these things are just not built to wheel around. So you're on the knife's edge because that's how this car is. It's a hell of a lot of fun to drive, but sometimes it's just not fun. If you're trying to keep it on the track and keep the tires into you, yeah, it's but if you're trying to do everything else, oh, it's a blast.
Oh my goodness. Well, the camera's going to lock up on us here from John Wynn's perspective. Oh my goodness. We're going to be down to just a couple of laps to go here. We'll see when your race leader has just crossed the start finish line. So John Wynn
wins around again.
Track. Man, you can see his hands behind the wheel. He is absolutely fighting that.
Yeah, he's got to have something wrong. That is... Yeah, he is. That car is a whole nother level of evil. Way more so than the usual Corvette-ness.
The usual Corvette-ness. I like the way you put that. Yeah, because it's not even necessarily happening on throttle, like the back end is stepping out as you put the power down. Oh man, but another one off track. That's going to be John Simon having a moment off the speedway as well. Man, this is turning into a battle of attrition here. Actually, it looks like, quickly we'll go back over to John Wynn here. That car definitely looked a little bit down on power. Man, eating up a ton of curb, pitching that thing around. Now, take a look at John Wynn's hands down there in the lower left-hand corner, and then well, you can't see his hands per se, but let's flip over and go on board with Mark McCourt. You'll be able to see if the car breaks loose, you'll see that show up as gone in the camera. It's just not happening. This car is absolutely planted.
Yeah, like, compared to John, Mark is just absolutely on a Sunday drive. Like he's just like, ho hum. Here's an apex. Here's an apex. Oh look, that's another second to the cars behind. La-di-da-di-da. Like, it's so smooth compared to the beast, the monster, the whatever adjective you want to describe what John Wynn is dealing with.
Yeah, even in fact, let's go back on board here with John Simon, because his car even is a little bit of an example of this. He's having to make a little bit of corrective maneuver on the quarter exit, but it's not nearly as much of a handful as what we're seeing out of John Wynn. It'll be interesting to hear how much of that is setup related and how much is directly just the parts and pieces that are inside the car. 25 minutes have expired. White flag is out at the start-finish line. And there you saw a checkered flag flying to the start-finish line. Pick up the guy who is going to be your race winner by a country mile. And that is Mark McCourt piloting the 173. Looks like it'll be, at least last time by the start finish line, 13 seconds. Once again, Mark McCourt putting on an absolute clinic here. Down the start, finish straight away. Checkered flag is in the air. And Mark McCourt picks up the win in round number 3 of Spec Corvette. Let's go on board. Well, we don't have Aaron Griffin. He's going to finish in the 2nd position. 3rd today will belong to John Simon if he can get across the line. Checkered flag is out for John Simon. Pick up John Wynn as he makes his way across the start-finish line. Jimerson will come home in the 5th position. Donnie York 6th. David Holmes 7th. Kevin Jones 8th. Chris Miranda 9th. And Patrick Howe rounds out the field in the 10th position. This race, well, kind of, I don't want to say as expected, but as John Wynn was talking to us in the pre-race, this was absolutely Mark LaCourte's race to lose today, and he will be your winner here in round number 1 of the Spec Corvette Series from Buttonwillow.
Yeah, that was an absolute thrashing he put on everyone. Like, the closest they got to him was turn 1, and then that was it.
Yeah, and quite frankly, there are a lot of storylines that are going to develop here over the next few minutes, probably the next couple of hours. Series officials, there are contact rules in the Spec Corvette rulebook. Let me see if I can find exactly where they have it in here. But they do have a contact rule, and that is a big part of the series is let's not hit each other, because that's stuff that is expensive to fix. By eliminating that,
Yeah.
By eliminating the contact, you would try to eliminate some of the repair work.
Yeah, like it's interesting. Like I'm very curious on how they're gonna rule on that, because like it wasn't really anything malicious or anything. It wasn't like a move gone wrong. It was just kind of a brain fart, if you will. Well, at the start.
Yeah,
So I'm curious on what they're gonna say.
A little bit of early red mist. I agree with you. Maybe a little bit of a cerebral flatulation going on at the start as well. But yeah, this one's going to be interesting to see how the series chooses to rule on this. And some of these cars are going to require damage repair that could take them well into the evening here tonight. Mark LaCourte pulling up to tech. He's got to pass the weight specifications as outlined. I believe 3,400 pounds is the weight rule. And the other thing, the other big rule here in Spec Corvette is at any time, the race winner, or any car in the field for that matter, can be put on the dyno, and you are not allowed to make more than a set horsepower rating. And if you do, that is as big of a penalty as, quite frankly, doing something like putting a power adder or something like that. Trying to sneak bolt-ons or other things. But man, what a race we got out of here! Round 3 this season of the Spec Corvette Series. Oh, a lot coming up here too, James. Let's get our in-car microphones cut off here, just so we can give the drivers a moment to kind of decompress and some of that kind of stuff. But I'll tell you what, James, we got we got a show today in race 1, and quite frankly, what are we going to see in race number 2 tomorrow?
Man, well, hopefully for all parties involved, we don't see a repeat of what happened coming to the green. Hopefully, expect a lot more close racing. Hopefully, John can get whatever was going on with his car dialed in a little better, and hopefully we can see a lot more close racing. We got a lot of great battles, a lot of epic scraps this race so far, so I feel like we can see a repeat of a lot of that action, hopefully with a lot more cars involved. I don't think Mark LaCourte is going to be involved in any of them, because I don't think anyone is gonna be able to realistically catch him. He exists on a different plane at this point.
Yeah, he is in another world from where some of these other drivers are. And that some of that obviously is equipment. A lot of that is driver skill. That's the whole point of a spec series, quite frankly, is the best pure drivers are going to do well. It is not what you would call fixed setup in any sense of the word, but definitely one of those things that, well, quite frankly, the more we look at it, the more that this series just is proving its worth day in and day out to us. The debrief is going on here at the front of, let's see, this is Patrick Howe's car. Let's pull the graphics down, switch the camera over, and there you can see series director John Wynn. A couple of the other drivers, there is a little bit of damage on that car as well, but they're talking things through. We are going to do a whole lot more talking with these guys from the series this afternoon. We'll get any information on penalties, bring that to you tomorrow. Also, we will have updated point standings heading into tomorrow's race as well. And with that, though, we are going to get the heck on out of here. It has been a fantastic show today. I cannot wait to see more of it tomorrow. For James Watson and everybody here at the National Racing Network that makes these shows happen, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us. We will see you all early tomorrow afternoon for more Spec Corvette Series. Have a great Saturday night, everybody.